Darth Sion, a Master Sith Lord. Darth Revan, a excellent Jedi Master and an amazing Lord of the Sith. But which one is better? Well, today we were going to talk about that. To start with, we'll just start with Revan here. So we're going to be basing these characters on 4 different things: their strength, their knowledge, their Force use, or knowledge of the Force, and my overall impression of them. Now, you guys might not agree with all these, and you don't have to. This is just my personal opinion on who would win if these two were to face off. So let's start with Revan, and we'll go down each category. So Revan, strength. He was a Master Jedi before he ended up leaving the Council to join the Mandalorian Wars with his friends. He ended up beating the Mandalorians and killing Mandalore the Ultimate. Now, I think if that doesn't tell you how powerful he is, then I don't know what will. But then again, he was also a very skilled Sith Lord. But he kind of goes both ways, because he has a lot of strength when it comes to the Jedi side, and a lot of strength when it comes also to the Sith side. So, I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up, because he's both Sith and he's both Jedi. I personally think he's more of a Jedi, and he was clouded by the dark side, kind of like Darth Vader. Now, let's move on to the second stature, knowledge. He was very smart, I would say. He was very knowledgeable of the Force. He was a Jedi Master, therefore he knew a lot of knowledge of the Jedi ways, what they expected, and he ended up going against those ways, against his Jedi friends, because they didn't want to interrupt the war. And I would just say most of overall, he became a master because of how strong he was and how much knowledge he had of the Force at the time. Now, let's go to the time when he was a Sith. I would say, was clouded by the dark side of the Force. He thought he could gain more power. He gained knowledge of the Sith and their ways and what they expected of him. So, knowledge goes both ways for him. He had knowledge of the Sith and Jedi. His Force use. Now, he had a lot of Force power, specifically from the Jedi, and then some from the Sith, consisting of like Force Lightning or Force Choke, or, a lot of things like Force Push. Now, I'd say he had a lot of knowledge of the Force, coming from being a Jedi to a Sith, back to a Jedi. And my overall impression of him, he was pretty awesome. Now, I'm ranking all these out of 10, I forgot to mention. So, a strength, from what I said, I would consider him, say, 7 or an 8. For Force use, or for knowledge, I would consider him probably a 9 or a 10, because he knew knowledge of both Sith and Jedi. And for Force use, I would say he was 7 or 8, and then my overall impression, I would say he was a 10, because he was very powerful, very just outgoing, and had strong beliefs in what he wanted. Now let's go on to Darth Sion. He wasn't really as much. I would just say he was kind of like a dog. He got barked around a lot. He was ordered everywhere. He was very powerful and very strong when it came to doing things. But I don't know. I don't think he was that great of a Sith in general. He was kind of like Darth Maul, just an assassin. But for strength, since he does have the leverage of using his hatred to keep living, meaning he can get struck down multiple times and then just basically get back up. For his knowledge, I don't think he was very smart. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he wanted to do. He had knowledge of the Force and stuff, but he wasn't as knowledgeable as, let's say, Revan, or, some other Masters of the Force, or, like, other Sith Lords. He was just kind of an assassin. He was told what to do. His Force use was pretty amateur, I'd say. He knew how to do most of the lightning. He knew about the Force. He knew how to use it. He manipulated it like all Sith do. For strength, I'd give him a ranking of, I would say, a 10, considering the fact that he uses his hatred just to keep going on. His knowledge, I'd give him a 4 or 5, or maybe even a 2 or 3, since he wasn't that smart. and he was kind of just an assassin that just did whatever he was told to do. His force use, I would say, was about a 7 or 8, because he manipulated it, he used it to his advantage, considering the fact that he could keep on living no matter how many times he got struck down. My overall impression of him would be a 9 or 10. It's kind of in between, because he's not my favorite, but then again, he's also very skilled when it comes to just doing certain things at certain times. Now, I think that if these two were to go head to head, in my opinion now, I think Revan would win, since he has a little bit more knowledge of the Force. He knows probably who Sion is, and he probably would find his weakness. But there's also the thing that if you keep striking him down, he would come back up. Now, that would also be a possibility, and that would also be hard to kill him. So it would almost be evenly matched at the same time, but I think overall in the outcome, Revan would win, even though he would just, because Sion is kind of just an assassin. He's not as knowledgeable, because knowledge most of the time comes over strength. And if he just keeps coming back, Revan, I feel it could just keep striking him down. So yeah, that's who I think would win if Revan and Sion were to go head to head. And I'm probably going to do more of these. This is my actually very first video for this channel. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you agree on my decision. If you don't, put it in the comments.